what made me actually get involved over a franchise that's close to 45 years old. Even though I wasn't really born in 1980s, Transformers was really nothing that I wasn't really too self-aware about growing up. While I did watch other action shows such as like Ben 10, um, here and there, and like Danny Phantom, I was never really too big into robots, and even though my pops actually did got me and my brother robots growing up, again, it still wasn't really something that we was really looking forward to. Like when it comes to just robot collecting, and it wasn't just Transformers. It was also like other robot genres that was out at that specific time. And Transformers was really, like I said, no different. The '07 movie came out, which honestly just kind of looked like Bionicles to me. But it did kind of got my curiosity in some time. Because back when I was in middle school, I remember majority of my classmates was actually bringing the toys in in class, basically just trading some of them and bringing the '07 DS game. I also remember that the when the '07 movie came out on DVD on digital release, somebody actually brought the movie in, and we used to watch that during our break time period, which is really sick. So my introduction to Transformers was very I mean, obviously the main thing was the films, but even on Saturday mornings when I forgot, it was some type of show I used to like want to watch on Saturday mornings on Cartoon Network. But before that show actually came in, it was always animated before coming on, and I believe animated was probably like on its. I don't really know how old it was a franchise, but just like the '07 movie, I was also keeping away from that series also. But my pops is always up for Saturday morning cartoons because of action, and apparently animated was actually on that schedule. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting. You know, I still couldn't really tell who was who, and it like I said, still took me time to at least like get used to these designs. Even my toy shelves was majority of my classmates every time we go to like a party or something, they always be asking for Transformers all the time, at least the live action ones. And I remember actually seeing like Walmart's actually jam packed with some of the '07 films, but also some of the animated toys, which personally for me the colors really did pop a little bit. And I was in my curiosity, I was like wondering like what's the difference with the live action films and animated, because you know, I was just kind of curious just because design wise, and that definitely did kind of pique my interest. And I remember when Halloween, during 2007, 2008 that year, my mom was actually looking for like a Halloween bag for us, and you know, apparently she got one for my brother, which I think was an Incredible Hulk one. I think my sister got a Barbie or Cinderella, and as for me, my mom couldn't really find one that interests me at that time, because I think I was obsessed with Pokemon at that time period. So she got me the Transformers animated bag, and again, I mean, she know I didn't really like it, but I made do out of it, and that Halloween bag, I don't have it anymore on me, but I do feel like that was probably like the main um, attraction when it comes to Transformers animated. And then I started hearing like some of my classmates was talking about the show. At least what I heard from YouTube is it is a really good show. And 2009 hit. I started actually indulging myself in Transformers media, and such as the original films. There was only two at that time. Um, but before I actually did watch Revenge of the Fallen, I do remember actually seeing the toys at my Target being released, and I remember actually wanting to get a hold of the Voyager Prime, not really known as a retool, and same with the '07 well, Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Balmy, the first wave one. Um, Again, I didn't really know it was a retool off the original '07 mode. But it was really cool regardless. I love how that package looked. I love that say Revenge of the Fallen. The trailers really did intrigue me also. And the toys look awesome. So I started out my bandwagon when it comes to just Transformers in general. Um, Revenge of the Fallen was actually now coming to theater soon. I was actually really excited, just because those keep showing the trailers like nonstop every time when I was actually seeing the movie. Seeing like other films. and it became a lot more easy to get a hold of animated because I believe back then Cartoon Network used to show shows on that used to uh, have like its last days on air. So usually if it's Cartoon Network usually have this thing that it airs around like I think 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, which is a really horrendous time for those that actually is now getting into the franchise late, such as myself. But I did remember actually jumping onto episodes such as season 3 at that time before school, and I got spoiled with the Starscream clone, Starscream dying. Um, Optimus was jetpack, sorry being robotic, Blur's death. So it was like a really odd introduction to animated, but and I know I said I watched it on a bit of it on TV, but it was like probably like midpoints, and I really wasn't paying attention back then. But it became a lot more easy to get a hold of also growing up because I think YouTube actually still has animated episodes on there. So it was that that it became a lot more easy to watch like a bit of the episodes like in order. And also Blockbuster when that was going out of business at that time. Was it going out? No, I think it was still alive at that time. Back in 2009, they have like this collection called animated Transformers Animated the movie. So I picked up that also, and me and my siblings used to just watch it. I remember my sister actually really liked it, Black Arachnia, and my brother's favorite was Blitzwing. So animated actually does still show like a really special place in my heart, just because I actually really do like that storytelling and art format. Majority of my drawings I took a lot of inspiration from animated, and I was really looking forward to season 4. Little did I know that Prime was actually going to be out soon, and that's a story for another time. Well, later on in the video. Um, but as for the movies, yeah, similar to animated, I did kind of had a bit of trouble actually knowing who was who. I remember Jazz was a popular one. I heard a lot back then in middle school. Jazz, Bombi, and I believe RC. Even though she wasn't in the movie, I believe the toy was really popular at that time. Um, and I was just intrigued, like, okay, knowing which character is which. So, I wouldn't really have a hard time knowing who's going to get killed off or whatever. And it's funny, too, because I used to mistaken Jazz for Ironhide back then. I literally thought he was the mean one. Until I watched the movie more, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know who's who. And then Revenge of Fallen came out. We saw it in IMAX, and my God, the theater was fucking packed. That we actually had to separate ourselves. I think we went to go see the movie like last minute or something, but the line was really long. The theater was really full, and I believe it was just me and my sister sitting forward, while my parents and my brother was actually sitting behind us somewhere. But besides from that, though, I think the movie was really fucking awesome back then. It was just everything I wanted as a 13-year-old. No one looking back at it, it's really not Shakespeare or the perfect film ever, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. And like I said, the collection just starts. I started picking up more animated toys. I believe it was moving on to like another new toy line at that time, which was Generations, I believe. And Revenge of Fallen toys were still packing up the toy shelves like crazy. That it became a lot more exciting for me and my brother when we was teenagers because we had like an animated to like watch and actually get references from, and then we got the 2 live action films, and then my pops actually got excited that we was getting into Transformers also, so he went through I think the basement or something and looked through his storage bin and actually grabbed his old VHS tape of Transformers the movie. And he hooked that shit up in the room, and we just watched it from beginning to end. And again, I really did like that film also. Granted, it was a real introduction because, I believe it's season 1, season 2, and then the movie, and then season 3 and season 4. But even if you just jump right onto it, I still know who was who. I think the designs was really awesome. I actually remember really liking that Starscream design, although thought it might be a little bit awkward too, and even Megatron's design at some point. But those designs actually, again, like similar to animated, I actually did grew to love those designs also. And I just had a lot of fun back in 2009 with this franchise. We was making money. We was doing a lot of chores in the house, me and my brother. And I remember actually when we actually got our allowance money on weekends, it wasn't just movies, but it was also places such as like Walmart, Target, Kmart that me and my brother just went nuts on just a shopping spree with just buying Transformer toys. And it was really cool that, back then, I mean, there was like $10 and we saved up for like other bigger classes. I remember actually having a hard time actually getting the Revenge of the Fallen, Voyager Starscream. After seeing the film, I think everybody wanted that toy back then. But my first toy was the Revenge of the Fallen Wave One Bumblebee, because I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna buy this until I actually do see the movie, and I'm kind of happy I did remain disciplined for that, and that was a really cool ass Bumblebee toy, I gotta admit. Granted, we got other better Bumblebee toys out there, but at that time, I think that toy was still really good. And then the collection started. Um, Weekends was definitely my favorite, because we actually did stay up like all night. I remember me and my brother used to take turns when it comes to sleeping, because we used to be so in our episodes in this world of Transformers until like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Playing with our new figures in the living room. We had a whole bunch of them on the kitchen table, and it was just really cool, honestly. I mean, I remember actually trying to do my own movie accurate toys back then, which, looking back at it, wasn't really that good. I remember actually grabbing like little wires and taking them apart from like wire headphones, and also actually grabbing a Pacific spray paint in order to get Ramjet from Animated. I really did like it at Starscream Clone. I really wanted a figure of him, and I remember actually just using my imagination a lot. Also, I also did got a hold of some of the games too. I know the War for Cybertron and Fall Cybertron games is also like another another a popular one from the fan base. But my first one was definitely the '07 DS games. I really did like it, both the bots and the con ones. I believe I got both of them at KB Toys. Yeah, for the holiday special, and also a year later, well, not a year, but then soon after Revenge of the Fallen, I got both of those games also, which I didn't really enjoy Revenge of the Fallen that much. It's still a decent game, but it doesn't really hold a candle compared to the storytelling of the '07 games. And then my classmate of mine actually lent me his copy of the PS2 game for '07. And then we just started trading toys. I believe it was just like one individual classmate that was obsessed with the franchise as much as we were. So he gave us some really cool toys back then. I forgot what I traded, but I remember getting a really cool animated Ultra Magnus for him. That was really sick. And also, what else? I believe this weird Mixmaster toy from the Adventure Fallen toy line. It was a really bad figure. And also the Dark of the Moon Megatron, which became a lot more easy for us because he was a little bit of a pain to get a hold of also back then. So it was just a really good year to be a Transformer fan. It was a good time for me. I never actually thought I was going to be so involved in a franchise, but like I said, we had things like such as YouTube that did like stop motions and video reviews. I remember I was actually really obsessed with watching Octobottom's reviews, and also I believe the YouTuber was Night Slash. He's responsible for doing his own storytelling, like his own Transformer universe and his own spin-offs, and I do think that's really is a breath of fresh air that I'm surprised that Hasbro didn't really hire this guy, because this guy, Hasbro, you gotta hire this guy immediately. He would probably save your life. But I remember actually just indulging that show. Me and my brother used to watch a lot of stop motions. Like I said, we did rewatch Animated countless and countless of times. And G1 was still a bit difficult to get a hold of at that time. But yeah, it wasn't until we actually did move to Florida. Ooh, damn, I got that far. To Florida back in late, at least like early 2011. And it was a lot of family drama that was going on at that specific time that actually made us move. But there was a lot of stuff that was actually still keeping us, me and my brother, excited. Despite the rocky situation we was in when it comes to just new schooling, adapting to new situations, and just the family drama itself, and us just being there for each other. There was still a lot of positives actually that came out from 2011, which personally for me it was definitely the more Transformer stuff that was coming out. When we actually did just move to Florida, I believe I was like packing at that time, and I just decided just to search up some Transformer stuff on I think it was on my brother's laptop at that time, and they actually teased the Super Bowl trailer. So that actually did got me hyped because I was kind of me and my brother actually did use our imaginations when it comes to just our Transformer figures, or like who's actually going to be surviving, who's not. Um, the events that's taking place in between Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. And I used to just always consider the games canon sometimes, especially the Revenge of the Fallen PS2 game. Even though Sideways was there throughout the whole game, and also we had characters such as like Breakery and Megatron's army. But I literally thought that was actually going to be like the main point, like the main plot. Like Megatron has like an army coming down to Earth. But no, it was completely different. I do see Megatron's army in there, but it wasn't really too detailed as I thought it was going to be. I see like a Brawl, Long Hole, Sideways, and I'm like, okay, they're just going to recycle. But I'm still excited to go see it. The Jetwing Prime looks really cool. And then I remember actually, I believe I was unpacking at that time, and I was kind of going nuts in my bag, just trying to look for that Leader Class Optimus toy, which is a really banger toy and was definitely worth the $40 or $50 at that time period. But I just remember being really excited. We still got some new toys growing up too. Despite us not really making too much money as we did back in Pennsylvania, our grandmother actually did still kept us occupied with doing some house chores, and then my mom actually went to Ross and like Marshalls and yeah, Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and she did encounter like a lot of good Transformer toys for us. I remember she actually got us the Leader Class Starscream from Hunt for Decepticons, which was a figure I actually really did want it, and I literally thought it was actually going to be impossible to get a hold of. But good things do come to those who wait, and I remember actually seeing that toy a lot back in 2010 and early 2011. And the same thing went with Reveal the Shield Lugnut. We got that toy for I think like $12 back then. But it was a really sick figure, and the collection still continued growing. We got a couple Nest figures, Hunt for Decepticons. My grandmother actually got access to the Hub Network also, so that also actually became a lot more easier to actually sit down and actually watch G1 before bed. And me and my brother still continue doing our episodes. Despite it being a little bit wonky, because new environment, we're in our grandmother's house and we gotta keep noise down. We definitely did make use out of her facility when it comes to just environments and all that kind of stuff, and it became just really awesome, just making use out of the pool and just using like my whole grandmother's house as like a big playground full of Transformers, because I think we still had Transformer toys like all over the house at that time. And I was starting high school. Still had that big kid mentality in me, but it was Transformers was like basically just the only thing that was actually keeping me more running, basically more going, and more eager just to get some side stuff done. My uncle actually took me and my brother to a car show too. I believe it was like a Chevy car show. And I remember actually encountering like stuff such as the Camaro, which I believe it was promoting Transformers 3 at that time period. And I really wish I could have find that photo too. It's on my uncle's old camera, but it was a really cool event. I mean, I encountered Bumblebee and I took a picture right in front of him, which was really awesome. And it was just an amazing time just to be a Transformer fan. And yeah, well, I did watch G1. The Hub being the Hub. Transformers Prime, which was a series that did took me time to actually like get used to, because I still love animated, and I got the Allspark Almanac at my school before actually moving, and I still wanted a season 4. I was still like indulging a lot of media in the animated format. Like when it comes to Transformers animated, like what season 4 could have been, and I was also still drawing some fan art. Still, having my own fan fiction of what season 4 would have been, and I just really wanted anime to continue on, because I watched that series like countless and countless of times back then, and I just really do want to see what's going to happen next with the Decepticons, because I love this incarnation of the cons. However, good things do come to an end, and Prime, like I said, I did watch a bit of it before moving down to Florida, and for those, I think it was like the first 3 or 4 episodes, because I remember actually seeing it advertised when the Hump Decepticon toy lines was around, and I did remember actually just being okay with the first 5 or 6 episodes with I think it was called Darkness Within, and it wasn't until like we was hanging out by my cousins that's when the Prime episode was on, and I gave both of those episodes a watch. I believe it was like Scraplet, and then the next episode of those advertising was when Wheeljack was actually going to be coming in, which I was actually pretty excited because I believe I saw Starscream in the advertisement, and I really do like Starscream in like all incarnations. So I was actually looking forward to actually like seeing that incarnation of him, and just seeing what's gonna happen. And I started falling in love with it. Season 1 was still fresh, and almost every single Saturday I did have a show to actually like look forward to, because I still did my schoolwork. Me and the cousins still go like to the gym and actually go swimming. Spending time with my uncle too, and me and my brother still grind when it came to Transformer episodes and taking care of things like Red Air Sliders at that time and Hermit Crabs. It was just a really interesting time, and I know I'm gonna be talking about like other Transformers. This is what the video is about. But even like other life things that was around me was still really good, such as like the pool, the fresh mangoes, and I can't really picture Prime or G1, at least like earlier G1 episodes and the Hub Network without 2011 flawed memories. And me and my brother was still overhyped with like films too. We still watch like other films that might be considered to be bad for certain people. And when I mean bad, I'm talking about just like really good movies. But we didn't really care too much. We still had a lot of fun. Going to like IMAX theaters just seemed like pretty magical for us. And we were still hyping up for Dark in the Moon that I remember me and my brother were still sharing rooms at that time, but I remember he used to just wake me up just trying to let me watch like the trailers for Dark in the Moon at that time, because I remember he was actually keeping up to date. And then I remember the first trailer dropped, and we were still excited about it. We showed our aunts, we showed our uncles, we showed like almost everybody how excited we were for this movie. And then the second trailer dropped, and then we enjoyed that one a little bit more. I think I was sleeping at the time. I don't know what time he woke me up, but I know it was really late, and I believe he was the only two that was actually up at that time. But I remember when he did show me that, and I see the Driller, I see Ratchet and Optimus on the moon, and I saw Sam, flying in the sky with Bumblebee, and which I literally thought that truck that Bumblebee was going over was Megatron. Did anybody else actually thought that? And it just got me back to just staying up again and actually just keeping my brain on. What else? It was just really awesome. So yeah, yeah, it was a really good time. And then when I remember my local comic book store also had the prequel comic books called Rising Storm, and again I just bought that. That was like another that was like another Transformer thing that was actually keeping me hyped before seeing the movie. And I remember we actually did start a YouTube channel also. We decided just to borrow my cousin's camera at that time, and we got this really cheesy game called Stealth Force. Whatever you think about it, I don't think the game was really that good, because why have a Transformer game where you can't really transform? And but the cutscenes was beautiful. We didn't really beat it, I don't think so. I remember we just did some short gameplays out of that on some really good bad camera. Please do not search that video up. I don't know if it's still even alive on YouTube anymore, but we basically just used like a cheesy camera just to like film gameplays, even though it wasn't really that good of a gameplay basically. And we also did like our own predictions of like things that who's actually going to be in there. What role Shockwave is actually going to be playing in there. Is certain characters that we see from the toy line, such as Skyhammer or Thundercracker, going to be in there also. Personally for me, my hopes is really high for Thundercracker, just because I really did loved him in the comic books, and the toys I think was really cool too. That I'm like, it would make better sense to actually like have another flying Decepticon in the films, but apparently we did not, and my prediction was wrong. Um, the toy was still pretty awesome though. And yeah, I remember when Dark of the Moon. I remember the. Yeah, I might as well just jump back on the toys too. I remember my grandmother actually got me some really cool deluxe toys back then too for the first rave. I believe it was just Bombi and Starscream and Roadbuster at that time. Oh yeah, and Ratchet. And it became a lot more easy getting some of the Dark and Moon toys also, just because there was kind of all over the place. And when I mean all over the place, I mean literally mean like all over the place. In like Five Below and the doll store. I remember Walmart had like stacks of them also. And there's also some really cool YouTubers. I mentioned Octobotimus and Night Slash, but there was also this other YouTuber that definitely made me actually enjoy collecting even more and made me actually want to start getting my license and my job a lot more sooner than possible. The Rage Nation. And what I actually really did like about this gentleman was he used to just he got into Transformers from the Day films, and he actually did went all out just to buy the figures and drive over there, get himself some food or a movie, and it was definitely the chill life I actually wanted to not build myself up for, but it definitely gave me the idea of toy hunts also that I ever since I actually did got my license and my vehicle, I started doing that a lot before work. I don't want to get back into it again for this year. There's really nothing wrong with a good toy hunt. Um, but yeah, the Rage Nation definitely did keep us occupied with his trailer reactions, with his predictions, with his toy hunts especially. And Octobotimus definitely did helped us out when we was debating what toy to actually like get at that time. Because they had some really good Transformer toys back then. It was like all over the place. The animated toys was really good. Despite the toy lines was kind of done already. We also had like stuff such as the 2010, 2011 generation toys, revealed the Shield toy lines, which I think was really a phenomenal series, and I still think those are really really good interpretations when it comes to like just new modern Transformer toys.